Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel Kiwi Bushcraft and Survival. I'm Glenn Vickery, and today I'm going to be going through making a 3-point sling, okay, a tactical 3-point sling for my rifle, because I think my last one I gave it away to somebody, so I need to make another one. So let's start off with some of the equipment that you'll need. But before we get into that, we'll just go through and clear the rifle. Magazine off, so you know the magazine's clear. Okay. Cock the rifle. Obviously, it's all clear. Okay. Okay, so some things that you will need for making the sling swivel. Okay, first thing we need is webbing. Okay, I'm using 25mm webbing. Okay, so that's all it is here. It's just normal webbing. Okay, and yeah, whatever colour you want. You want to be painting it anyway, most people, okay, but it's up to you what you want. I find that straight black though stands out more in the bush, okay, the black lines, so you probably want something a little different than straight black, but it's up to you. Okay, so webbing 25mm or basically 2.5 centimeters. Okay, the next thing that you want is either a nice sharp knife, okay, or a pair of scissors, okay. Alright, so we can cut things. The other thing you'll need is a lighter, okay, a 1x 25mm plastic side release buckle. So these are called side release buckles, where they just simply undo, okay, and clip on. Okay, everybody probably knows those on packs and bags and whatnot. Need one of those, whatever colour, it's up to you. The next thing is a 25mm plastic square, what do they call these, a square ring. Okay, plastic square ring. Alright. The one on my last sling swivel, I had a metal one, which comes straight off the webbing, military webbing. So let me see if I can find one here on my webbing. Okay, so if you can see on my webbing here, you can see the metal one. Okay, there's a metal one there. If I get a good shot, but yeah, if you can find an old webbing, suspenders or whatnot, you can get one of these metal ones. They're way better. All right, but I haven't got a spare one, so I'm going to be using plastic. Okay, but any of these things, if you can use metal, find metal parts, you're better off going with metal, because obviously plastic, it breaks, under load. It can only handle so much. Okay, next piece of equipment is 1x 25mm plastic ladder lock. So these are called ladder locks. Okay, and you've probably seen these on most bags as well. Okay, a ladder lock. Next one is 4x 25mm tri-glides. These ones here are called tri-glides. Okay, it's just yeah, pretty simple. Tri-glides. Okay, T-R-I glides. Alright, tri-glides. So you need 4 of those. Again, try and get metal if you can. Alright, but we're only going to be using these tri-glides temporarily as we set up the 3-point sling. Okay, we're only going to be using these temporarily at this stage. Alright, next piece of equipment is the Speedy Stitcher sewing awl. Okay, you'll definitely want to get one of these if you're into keeping your equipment maintained and whatnot, and making your own things. Okay, very, very well worth getting. I think they're about $25 or $28 on Trade Me. Okay, well worth getting. Alright, a measuring tape, preferably in millimeters and centimeters, okay, and meters obviously. Alright, now with the webbing, I'll just go back with the webbing that I talked about. I don't know the exact length that you're going to need at this stage, because I'm just still figuring that out myself. Okay, so I'll give you the length of that at the end when I figure it out. Okay, and the other thing you'll want is maybe a multi-tool, just to help you out with anything you need to do. Okay, if you need it, good to have around. And the last thing you might need is some sling swivels. Okay, off a I think this is a Butler's Creek sling, one of my old slings. But you want the rifle sling swivels. Okay, preferably the ones that can swivel around as well. Okay, so they sort of can clip on and then swivel around, but I haven't got any of those at the moment. Okay, but you may need some of these as well to attach to your the sling to your rifle. At this stage, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to attach my sling proper at this stage, so for now I'll just use these. So what I'm going to do with these here is I'm going to actually undo these sling swivels from the sling itself. Okay, and I'll take off these tri-glides, and I may end up having to use these extra tri-glides, these two tri-glides here, okay, that are holding on the sling swivels. I may end up having to take those off to attach the 3-point sling. So we'll see how we go there anyway. Alright, so those are the bits and pieces that you're going to need. And I'll show you where I'm up to with the actual sling. I've had to try and figure out where everything goes. Okay, so let's sort of bring this down a bit. Right, so what I've been using is just a chair. Okay, see if I can come back a bit. Right, I've just been using a chair arm. Okay, and I've attached the sling swivel around the webbing around that. I've got all my excess webbing to the side. Okay, here's the excess webbing goes from here where my hand is out to the side. Okay, and I've put most of the sling swivel together, the 3-point sling together at this stage. Alright, and it goes to here. Alright, so so at the moment I'm just trying to get the measurements and the actual setup of the sling, which I've pretty much got now, and I'll show you guys how to do that once I've actually attached it to the rifle and everything else. Okay, but one thing at a time. I've got to figure this out myself. Okay, so how it basically works is you'd have this part here that I'm holding around your body. Okay, over one shoulder, over your body. Okay, and this part here, which I'm going to stitch up all these parts. I'm just using the tri-glides at the moment to hold everything in place. Okay, and you'd unclip it there, and that would slide out and give you extra space on your sling. Okay, alright, so, but I'll get into more depth in this and the actual setup of it once it's all done. Okay, Alright, let's zoom it in here a bit closer for now, so you can see sort of a bit better what I've done. Okay, so the tri-glides, these things here that I showed you earlier, okay, those ones there, alright, I'm using those here. Okay, I've got one here, alright, and they're actually just holding the webbing in place while I sort of get the adjustments right using the chair, where it's attached to the chair over here. Okay, and here's the buckle, the buckle here that I showed you earlier, and I've got another tri-glide here. Alright, there's another one just here. Alright, so that's the third one. And the fourth one we use a bit later on. Okay, we're going to use it a bit later on. Alright, now what's that other piece called? The square ring. Okay, the square ring is under here. Okay, that's where the square ring is. And that's actually being held in place by these two tri-glides here. Okay, so that's going to be stitched there. I'm actually going to stitch it here with a sewing awl, and I'm going to stitch it there with the sewing awl, and where this other tri-glide is, I'm going to stitch it there with the sewing awl. Okay, now that's completely optional if you want to stitch it, but it's better to stitch things up than to leave these tri-glides in place, because they may break eventually, okay, and you don't really want them there like that. But it's optional. If you want to leave them in, you can leave them in, and that gives you more ability to adjust things and whatnot. But I'm probably going to be taking them out and stitching them up. But at this stage I want to leave these in to get the general setup of the 3-point sling, okay, and then once I've got it all in place and I know exactly how long I'm going to have everything, then I can take these out and start stitching them up. So that's what we're using them for at the moment. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a bit of an idea of the general setup, okay, so far. Alright, and a bit closer up, okay, so what happens is this here unclips, okay, and it slides like so. Alright, and that gives you extra space. Alright, and I'll show you how the actual sling works on the rifle. I don't know how it's going to work because the sling swivels aren't in the best of places on hunting rifles and whatnot. So I may have to make some other attachments for that, but we'll get to that when I get to it. Anyway, so what we'll do now is I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to set it up on the rifle, okay, and then I'm going to try and adjust it to length to get the right kind of length for the entire sling, okay, and then we'll come back then, okay, and I'll show you where we're up to. Okay, be back shortly. Cheers. Okay, so welcome back. So what I've done is I've I've cut off the running end off here. Okay, so this was the long running end of all the extra webbing. Okay, I've cut that off, and and basically I've measured the amount of webbing that I've used so far that's attached to these clips here. Okay, so the entire length of the webbing at the moment, as you can see me using to here, okay, is 3 meters. 3 meters long. Alright, I'll probably end up cutting a little bit more of that off, but at this stage I'll stick to 3 meters. And I'll give you a close-up look here at what we're looking at. Okay, so we've got one of the square plastic bits here. That's just holding the webbing on at the moment. Alright, just holding this on. And over here in the middle underneath, is the square bit. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. Alright, that's going to be the main part. We're going to keep that, and this particular square piece is going to get taken off, and I'm going to sew that up shortly with the sewing oil. Okay, and if you haven't seen how to use a sewing oil, have a look at some of my other videos on how to use a Speedy Stitcher sewing oil. Okay, and this other one here that you can see, that's also going to be stitched there. Alright, so all it will have is this bottom piece here. Okay, the bottom, this piece there, all on its own, with a stitch on one side and a stitch on the other, holding it there. And then of course we've got the buckle, alright, and that's the end of the buckle there. Alright, that's attached to the webbing. Alright, and of course the last piece is this other one here at the moment, alright, which fits in like so. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is I need to attach this piece here, okay, the slide, okay, or the lock. Okay, it's called the lock. What do we call it? The ladder lock. Okay, the plastic ladder lock. So I need to attach that piece there. Alright, so what we've got to do is we want to attach it, okay, to, there's a pin. We want to attach, okay, I'm back, sorry about that, the camera was full. Okay, so as I was saying, what we want to do now is we want to attach a small piece of webbing into the end of this buckle here. Okay, so I've got a piece of webbing here, and this is about let's have a look, it's about 14 centimeters long. Okay, that's ample amount, 14 centimeters long. And what we want to do is we want to attach the locking ladder here onto it. Okay, so we get our piece of webbing and we go through. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Okay, we go through there and we bring the other piece up through there. Right, so we've got our like so. Hopefully you can see that. Should still have a gap there. Alright, and we've got our two pieces. Alright, or the one piece gone through. Okay, like so. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach this here into it. Okay, we're going to put that on like so. Okay, so we're going to use the sewing oil to do that. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just get the measurement to what we want it to be. Okay. I'll probably sew it on the bottom part actually. So I'll bring this around a bit so it's a little bit tidier, I suppose. Okay, so basically what we want to do is just get the get the webbing here at the right position, how we want it. Okay, and we want to sew where my finger is there. Okay, sew it into place. So it's sort of looking like that's the part where the excess webbing was. Okay, going through to the buckle, and then we've got this new piece of webbing here, and we're putting on the ladder clip. We're sewing this on. Okay, so I'll be back shortly, and I'm going to sew that with the sewing awl here. Alright, I'm going to sew this up. If you haven't seen how to use a sewing awl, or otherwise known as a Speedy stitcher, have a look on my YouTube channel, and I demonstrate how to do that. Okay, so I'll be back shortly with this here sewn up. Okay, so we're just finishing off the last part of the stitch here. Alright, pull that out of it. Scissors. Alright. Okay. So we're just going to burn it off. Burn the next part off. Okay, so that's what we have there. Okay, what we just stitched. Okay, so that took about, I don't know, between 5 and 10 minutes to do that. Okay, the other side. Alright, and so that's the next part. Alright, let's bring that out a little bit. Okay, so this can be unclipped. Alright, and this is what we're looking at for this part here. Okay, and it should be looking like that. Sorry about that. It should be looking like that. Okay, and that part like that. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, alright, and of course that plugs in to this other part of the clip. Alright, it's looking like that. And that's where we're at the moment. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go away now, and I'm going to I think before I sew up these last two pieces here, okay, I will just put it together on the rifle, okay, and show you how it's looking. No, actually I think what I'll do is I'll just sew these parts here on. I'll sew these two parts on with a sewing awl as well, and we should just have this this piece here at the bottom left. Okay, alright, so I'll do that now. I'll be back shortly. Okay, so we're just finishing up the last bit of the stitch. Okay, so this is for the square ring. Okay, so let's have a look here. We'll just burn that one off. This one here's got a little bit more string on it, so we'll cut a bit of that off. Okay, and we'll burn that. Alright, now these stitching here, this will last a lifetime. Probably last 2 lifetimes, okay? I've taken stitches like this off after probably, I don't know, maybe 14, 15 years, something like that, and it's still been like brand new. Okay, so that's how it's looking now for the square ring. Okay, this one here. Alright, so we've stitched it into place. Okay, there. Okay, and on the upper side, on the top side, that's what it looks like. So before we had those plastic tri-locks or tri-slides over here. We had one there, and then we had the other one there. So I've taken those off and I've stitched it up, and we've just left with this square ring here on the underside. Okay, so I'll just come back a little bit. Okay, so this is what you can see now. Alright, so that's looking at it from the top. Okay, and that is looking at it from the bottom with the that part there. Alright, and of course we have our approximately 3 meters of webbing, okay, attached to it. Alright, 3 meters of webbing. Alright, comes to the end. Alright, and that's attached to this part here. Okay, so let's have a look and see how that fits so far. Okay, try and get this into camera shot, and I'll try and zoom in as best I can. Now, okay, so what we do is we have this part here, the ladder, okay, ladder lock. We want that towards the butt, okay, of the rifle, okay, and we get this other piece, okay, and we go through the first, we go through the swivel, okay, through the swivel here. Alright, let's try and make this a bit easier to see. So, we go through the first swivel over here. Alright, do it again. Here's our swivel, okay. We get the running end, and we go through the top of the swivel, alright, and we wind it under, okay. Okay, so wind that under with my left hand here, alright, this is the running end, okay, winding it under, and we'll keep going. Alright, here's our running end. We'll keep going, keep winding it through. Okay, I've actually gone the wrong way, so I'm going to flip this over, turn it over. Okay, so we want the we want that square piece, the square ring, okay, here, alright, we want that on the bottom. Okay, so it should be, trying to get you to show it the best I can, like that. Should be on the bottom. Okay, alright, and the running end that goes through the swivel, okay, we want to get that running end, okay, and we want to slide, let's get that, we want to slide it through that part there. Okay, once we slide it through there, we also want to slide it through the buckle. Okay, so I'll try and get it like that, as I can see as best we can. Bring it in a bit. Okay, right, so we want to try and get this running end here, and we want to slide that up through here. Okay, so like that. Alright, so if I turn that around to try and let you see what that looks like, we've got the running end here where my finger's pointing, okay, and this is our other part, right, that's got the ladder part attached to it. So we're pulling this running end through. Alright, so we want to stick with this running end here. Right, I'll pull this back a bit. Okay, so we're pulling this through, the running end through now, like so. Okay, so now it's looking like that. So all we've basically done is we've got the top of the cordage here. Alright, we've got the top of the cordage from this end. Right, we've got the top of this part, and we've gone all the way down through to the sling. Okay, so we've gone from here all the way down through the sling, gone through the sling and under, and we've come back. Okay, we've come back and we've gone through the square ring here. Okay, we've gone through there and we've carried on up. Okay, okay, so we've gone through here and we've carried on up and gone through here. Okay, gone through the underside of this buckle here. Okay, and then it comes through it. Alright, so it's gone through there, popped out here, out the top. Okay, so underneath and out the top. Alright, which is, will end up being underneath this part. Alright, so we've come through. Now this running end here that I've got, okay, this running end, got quite a bit of it at the moment, okay, but we can always cut some of this off. Okay, so this here now goes through the other swivel. Okay, I've actually I'm actually not using the bottom swivel over here at the moment under the rifle. Okay, under the butt, because it was not in a good place. Okay, neither is the front one actually. I'm actually going to change that as well. But I've actually put on a piece of webbing going through there with a D-ring on here. It's a bit hard to see. And this metal carabiner. Okay, so basically we're going to slide this through here. okay, like so. Alright, but that would go through your rear sling swivel, okay. And coming back. Alright, so we've gone through the rear sling swivel, and it's starting to look like this now, okay. So we've got the front part attached. That was the first part we did, and then we've come through. So we've gone from here through the front part, we've come back on the underside, and then we go down and through the carabiner here, or through the sling swivel over here, somewhere around here, wherever yours may be, and then we come back up, okay, and we go through and feed it through into the ladder lock, okay. So we feed our running end through the ladder lock, like so, okay. Just feed it through normally. I don't know how well you can see that, okay. We feed it through the ladder lock, like so. Okay, yeah, and we pull it tight. Okay, now obviously we've got a lot more webbing than what we currently need, just to be on the safe side. Okay, alright, so she should be looking like this at the moment. Okay, where we've got, again, where we started from here. We went through the front swivel, underneath, and came back, going underneath and or going through the square ring, through the back of the slide release buckle, down to the rear sling swivel, back up, okay, back up and through the plastic ladder lock. Okay, now this part here is where we can put our body through here. Alright, that's where we can put our body through this part. Alright, so I'll stand up and show you that. Alright, bring this back a bit. Okay, so what we do is we get our sling here, okay, feed it over us, alright, and that's how it is there. Okay, so you can sort of hopefully see that here's our locking one, so we can tighten that if we want to. Okay, we've got our main buckle here, okay, and we can release that if we need to. Won't do it right now, okay. But the rifle, we can keep it in the shoulder a lot better, okay. I'll bring this down a little bit. Okay, so we can keep the rifle in our shoulder a lot better, okay. If we need to drop it down, okay, we can just have it, hold it here like this with one arm in front of us. It's no problem. It's quite relaxed here, okay. We can also, if we take these legs down, make it a bit easier. Alright, we can have the rifle down to our side. Okay, so we can carry it like that, like so. Okay, and this is very comfortable, like this, very comfortable. Okay, we can adjust the sling we can move it. See how it moves? Alright, it moves like that. Oh. Alright, we can adjust it so we can hold our rifle however we like. Okay, we can cradle it still. We want to tighten that up to get to the right thing where it's just sort of cradling in our arms, where the sling's doing most of the work. Okay, so we can hold the rifle here. Alright, just relaxing in the arm. Alright. However, if we want to, we can unclip the clip here. Okay, alright, try and show you there. We can unclip this clip and the rifle will slide forward. Okay, so it gives us more room to move with, to use the rifle. Okay, in fact, if we wanted to, we can leave it like that and it'll lock in place. Okay, and we can have the rifle just relaxing there like that. Okay, if we want to be hands free, it's no problem at all. Okay, to clip it back in, it's no problem. We just slide, get this piece here, and we slide it forward. Okay, and we clip it back in. Okay, clip it back in. Alright, so the other thing that we can do is, well, there's lots of things that we can do with this particular sling. I don't really want to do it right here because I've got the table in the way, but we can sling it over our back. It's quite easy. We can then bring it back around to our front in order to fire it. We can tighten the sling to whatever we want it to be at. Okay, whatever we want it to be at, we can tighten it. Okay, all right. Now this sling is solid. Okay, it's just literally solid. It's not gonna break on us. Okay. All right. We can adjust it to suit. All right. So the sling is designed to help us to shoot more accurately, okay, especially in the standing position or kneeling position. It's designed to take the weight off the weapon for us as well, give us plenty of options to carry the rifle. For those of you that like to carry the rifle as in like a 2-point sling, just at the front sling swivel and the rear sling swivel, you can still do that. Okay, you can still do that. Alright, all you got to do is take the sling off the body. Okay, alright, we grab the sling like so. Alright, so that it's like that now. So it's like a double sling. Okay, and we use it like a double sling. Okay, where it's, you can either have it like so, right, or you can carry it upside down, whatever you want to do, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so you can still use it as a double sling. Okay, there's a lot more ways you can use the 3-point sling. If you have a look on YouTube and things like that, you know, there's other videos that can show you. Alright, this video is not really for that. Probably what I'll do with the front sling swivel here though is that it is it doesn't really work well with the 3-point sling with the front sling swivel underneath the rifle. It's better with it on the side, okay? Either the sling swivel on the side or on the top, okay? But for this rifle, it's floating barrel, so it's not really the best place to be strapping anything over the barrel. You know, it's limited to what you can do with the rifles. The type of sling swivel you really want is not the type like this here where it just goes in one direction. You want it where it can swivel this way as well, okay, not just that way. You want it to swivel both ways, and that way, and also you want the swivel itself, this part, to be able to rock forward and back. Okay, so so these ones here aren't that great. You know, you can make modifications to your rifle, either buy the proper better swivels, or you can attach things to your rifle, which is what I'm going to do, to go under the barrel, and something that'll fit here like a D-ring or something where I can attach the sling to it, so the rifle will sit better on the body. Anyway, I hope this has helped some of you out there that might be interested in doing a 3-point sling. I'll probably just maybe I'll probably paint it at some stage, and the other thing I'll do is the amount of extra webbing here that's coming off. It's probably about, I don't know, an extra metre long. What I'll probably do is cut off about half a metre of that, okay, and then once I've cut that half a metre off, the end bit I'll probably just use the sewing oil and make a little piece like so, okay, just sticking up like that, so that it'll be a lot harder to actually run itself back through the what is it called, the plastic ladder lock, okay, the plastic ladder lock, this piece here. Alright, I can still like weave it through myself, but if it tries to go through on its own. So you want to have a bit of space here for when you're wearing your jacket, your warm weather gear, your wet weather kit. You know, you don't want it like too small, the actual sling. Make sure you got plenty of webbing to play with, okay? And then when you get it where you want it, okay, then you can cut it short. Start cutting it short. But don't cut it short too soon, okay? So play around with it, get it to where it suits you, and you know, to where you're comfortable with it, and have a look online as well, so you can get an idea of how this all works. It is a little bit hard to show all of this, so hopefully the cameras, we've used the cameras best we possibly can. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Share, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers. Bye-bye.